Rosemary O'Hagan, welcome. So what's inspired you to get involved in the fight to save Victoria Park? Have you lived near it for quite some time?
Look, I have, but I've been involved in the preservation of the park for the last 5 years, and I follow a history of many people for decades, even over the last century and a half, so it's 150 years old. A lot of people have fought for the preservation of this park for a very long time. So I actually was involved in it from 2019 as just a local member of the community. They actually, the park is heritage listed. That's really important. And we've had really bad town planning in Brisbane. We have the lowest amount of inner city green space of any capital city in Australia. And we've got this amazing heritage listed park. And a part of it was a golf course for a period of time. And then they gave that back to the people. And we got it back in 2021. After all this master planning had been done by Brisbane City Council, they finally presented it in 2023, and it was going to be this amazing, natural, tranquil retreat, and had cultural significance, and it paid tribute to the First Nations because there's very important ties to First Nations history with this land. So we were absolutely blindsided when they thought about putting an Olympic stadium on it. So today was even more of a shock. We know it was going to be bad, but this is actually worse than we would ever expected. Not only has David Crisafulli broken his election promise, he's broken it twice. He's done it with 2 stadiums on heritage-listed land, which is of major cultural significance.
Okay, for people unfamiliar with this area, describe it a bit more for us, because when you look at it from a map, as we just did with the introduction, it's this quite a big area just to the north of the CBD.
Yeah, so basically it was originally 130 hectares, and as I said, this is our only substantive major green space that we've got in Brisbane. We've actually got, as I reiterate, we've got the lowest amount of inner city green space of any capital city in Australia. So it was originally 130 acres, and it was to be and it was to be the lungs of the city. That's what it was granted to the people to be. Over the years, it's been salami sliced right down, and now we've got 64 hectares with an ICB running through it. And that's why it's so important to retain, because it's the last bit of major green space we've got, and great cities have great parks. We look around Australia and we see Kings Park in Perth, and we see the Domain and Centennial Park in Sydney. We don't have that in Brisbane, but we've got Victoria Park. And I have no idea what in God's name has been going on with people thinking that they can destroy it for an Olympic Games, which is supposed to be based on sustainability.
The architects have been quoted as saying the stadium could well be built in a way where there is no net loss of green space. Have you heard that? And what do you say to that argument?
Look, I can just say, look, we've got with our group, we're not just like a little group of local residents. We've got people from throughout Queensland supporting us. We've got architects, we've got town planners, we've got historians, we've got heritage experts. We've got people doing overlays. There is no. How do you put the equivalent of Optus Stadium on a park and have no net loss of green space? There is going to be widespread devastation to this park. It is hilly terrain. It is a tough granite, sort of like it's a Brisbane tuff. It's a special type of granite. It's all just smoke and mirrors. And that has been really difficult for the last year, to educate the people of Brisbane and Queensland to realise what's at stake, okay? Because there's a lot at stake. We are going to lose an amazing, beautiful parkland and concrete over it. London, Sydney, Paris, they don't take their best parks and just shove Olympic stadiums on it. They take, like London took a brownfield site. Sydney took a brownfield site. I mean, what are we doing in Queensland? Because I grew up here, and I can say that I feel like we've gone back to the 1980s, because where developers just did what they want, the heritage restrictions weren't there. So after the 80s, they put in these heritage laws, and we had legislation, and we're supposed to have protection. This is a heritage listed park. And so what is going on in Queensland that we are so stupid to think that we can just go, that's a bit of space, shove it there. The developers on the market, the people in the property sector over the past year have pushed and pushed and pushed that this is vacant land, that it needs to work hard for the people. Like, this has been, to see this going on and to see Queensland destroying this park when it could have got another part of the city. You can't tell me this wasn't another part of the city. They could have got a brownfield site and remediated it and done something with it. But no, what do? We do what we always do in Queensland. We go and trash our beautiful areas of this city.
But as far as you're concerned, this is not over. You'll fight this through the courts?
Oh, yeah. So there's a few things here. So we understand that the federal government money that was to go to the entertainment centre, they wanted to instead build the stadium. So I just want to make a point that we don't think the federal government should ever think about supporting stadiums in a historic and heritage listed park of First Nation significance, and that's really important too, because this is First Nation significance, particularly with this park. The other thing we'd just say is, yes, we have briefed senior council, we have money, and we've let the Premier know that well and truly before the lead up to this announcement. Now, whether he's heard it or not, it's another thing, but we're not taking this lightly. I mean, you cannot accept that we as a society in 2025 would just go, yeah, there's a bit of land, use it. There's a bit of green space. I mean, it's not, I just cannot comprehend. I feel ashamed to have to sit here now advocating for the protection of a park that was given to the people of Brisbane in 1875 to be the lungs of the city.